Welcome to LSB Feaster's Radio Air Check and Classic TV channel.
On a Sunday evening, everybody, Herb Oscar Anderson with Conversation. You're going with the biggie. 97.1, the Ocean. And wherever you go, we're a bunch of tag-alongs, but take us, because we enjoy being with you.
My baby makes me proud. Lord, don't you make me proud. Behind closed doors.
Well, in Vero Beach, we've certainly heard of the Lenhart Auditorium at the Vero Beach Arts Center. Fred Lenhart, I'm happy to say, was a dear friend of mine for years and years and years. And I'd like to tell a story about Fred, and I asked his good wife, Ann, if that would be all right, because it is a rather personal thing, and she emailed me back and said, Herb, go ahead. For an old friendship, I'm sure he would agree with it. With the Lenhart company was a flavor company, and every time you pick up a 7-Up or go and buy soap, lemon-flavored or scented, whatever it would be, that was the idea of the company, was a flavoring scent company. It was a very big company. And his father built it, and the family kind of took over. And it was a company that had very little outstanding stock. I have no idea. I'm making this up now. Maybe, let's say, 100 shares. Or maybe 200 or 300 shares. That would probably be generous. And it was held within the family, but the father was very good to his employees. And he had a maintenance employee who had received a share or two, and years ago, and just never thought anything about it and put it away in the safe deposit box. And then when the company was sold, I would say probably now 20 years ago, it became very valuable, those shares. And to show you the kind of a camaraderie that the company had with the employees, Fred called this lady who was now a widow and said, do you still have that share of stock? And she said, oh, yes, Fred, certainly. Do you want it? I'm sure I can probably find it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I'll try to find it. And so he said, no. He says, what I'm going to do is we have a lawyer in that town, and we're going to send him out immediately. And you give that to him in an envelope, because I do not want anything to happen to that share of stock. And she says, well, okay, Fred, that's fine. But if you need it, I'll give it back to you. And he says, no, I don't need it. But it's worth a great deal of money. So the lawyer comes out, and he gets the share of stock, and I don't know the exact amount, and Fred would never disclose it. But immediately, that woman became a very rich woman with that one share of stock that she had. Now, the reason I tell that story is because that's the kind of the family the Lenharts were. And that's what the Lenhart Auditorium, every time I walk in there, I think of Fred, and he was a trap shooter, he's a skeet shooter. Loved the outdoors. Well, Fred really loved everybody. And I can't help but think of that the next time maybe you walk into the Lenhart Auditorium, you'll remember that story. And Fred liked to sing. He had one song in particular that he sung, almost bored us to death, but he loved the song. And when it came time to more or less dedicate the auditorium, we didn't really dedicate it, but we were there anyhow for a show, and Ann was in attendance, and we feel it was maybe the inauguration, dedication of the Lenhart Center. You will be surprised to know the song that Fred Lenhart loved. And we didn't include it because I didn't have it. I had to look all over for it. But this was Fred's favorite song. All right, Fred, here we go. You ready, old buddy? Give me land, lots of land, under starry skies above. Don't fence me in, and let me roll through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in, let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in, just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western sky. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountain rise. I gotta chuckle a little because I can see him singing. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences, gaze at the land till I lose my senses. Can't look at owls and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Your turn, Fred. There we go, everybody. Oh, don't fence me in. Oh, don't fence me in. You did good, Fred. Now don't fence me in. Just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western sky. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountain rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences, gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. Can't look at owls and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Oh, and then Fred would say, you don't even know what a cayuse is, do you? I'd say, what is it, Fred? He says, it's a horse. Oh, Sunday evening, kind of having a good time and a lot of memories there on the wonderful Ocean 97.1. Have you ever lived on a gravel road? I think everybody should have the experience of living on a gravel road. I used to try to ride my bicycle on it. I had one of those bicycles with the big balloon tires, impossible almost. And not only that, but then they get what we used to call the rapids. You know, that's the buildup of a little area of the road, and it's just to ride over that would be just earth-shattering, really. Your teeth would almost come out of your head. But the thing that always amazed me about the gravel road was we used to have a little contest when some of the people would come out, little kids, didn't know what to do, so we'd say, hey, let's see if we can find the same rock. Now, here's miles and miles of gravel road, and you'd reach down and you'd get a rock and you'd say, now, let's see if we can find another one just like this. And we would bet. And, of course, if they came from the city, we were supposed to be the hicks out in the country, but if they came from the city, we'd have a bet, and we knew we were going to win because, oh, it was nothing. Let's see, it's a slate rock. It's not too round. Oh, there must be dozens of them. So then you start and you search and you search and you search, and you can never find another piece of gravel exactly the same. And all of the gravel just spread out all over the place. How can that be possible to have so many pieces of gravel, small pieces of gravel, big pieces of gravel, and you never can seem to find two that are the same? I'm sure that somewhere there has to be, because the sheer numbers and the mathematics of it, you more or less have to say it has to be somewhere. Or take a heart-shaped one. That was used to be the favorite, a heart-shaped rock. Maybe a kind of a yellowish one. We couldn't even find another heart-shaped rock. Walking mile after mile and just kicking with your feet and making a little puff of smoke and, oh, there's one there, but you reach down, no, it's not even close. How can that be? They say that Eisenhower has had his putting green when he used to have that moment of just saying, what am I going to do tomorrow? Or when things really got very tough, he would sit back and have a conversation, but he was really thinking about his putting green and the green of it and making the ball go in. And so many times I've had conversations also where I just kind of sit back and I think of my little gravel road, and I'm trying to find another heart-shaped rock. Can't do it, but it's fun trying. Conversations on the Herb Oscar Anderson Show.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Take me home, country road.
This is WOSN FM. On the Space and Treasure Coast, the Biggie. This is WOSN FM. On the Space and Treasure Coast, the Biggie. Herb Oscar on a Sunday evening, everybody, with the ocean. My favorite buddy on a Sunday evening, and it should be yours 24 hours a day, wherever you go.
Stars shining brighter for you.
On a Sunday evening, thinking about all of the good times, and since Jim Davis, the general manager here at Ocean, asked me to come up with something for a Sunday evening, I went through a lot of my old archives, and in it I found something that just delighted me, and that was when Dick Enslin and I were doing shows together, we called it 3 Score when it started, and we were doing shows all over the lower part of Florida. And we got so used to going over Highway 70 and Highway 60 that we said, gee, we got to try to do something to get shows on this side, because we're just getting too old to go back and forth on that highway, which is now, by the way, pretty good. It's 4-lane, but back then it was only 2-lane. And so I found this actual recording of Dick and I doing a show. Dick's been dead quite a few years, but as fate would have it, it just seemed to pop right out. It wasn't even marked, and I was listening to something, and all at once there we were on a blank piece of tape. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'd like to bring out 3 Scores, yours truly, and Richard Enslin, who for 28 years was on Broadway. And people seem to love it. Let's see if you do.
Oh, hey, I want you to play another somebody done somebody wrong song. While I miss my baby, while I miss my baby. All right. Oh, thank you, Richard, for joining me there.
And you know something at this age, I don't care if you liked it or not, I did. It was so good to hear Dick again. It's so good, really, to be on the ocean, everybody, and it's really very good to be able to spend Sunday evenings with you. And I hope you got a good book and maybe just relaxing after a very busy week. It's always a busy week, isn't it? On the Ocean, 97.1. We're going to have to talk to Big Jim, and I don't know, this hour simply goes so fast. Seems I just sit down and get going here, and it's time to sing our way out of here, as we always like to do. And thank you if you've joined us here on the Big Ocean. It's a big station, a lot of listeners. And I'll see you next week at 7 o'clock. We're on weekly. Make Ocean a part of your life. Herb Oscar singing at the end of the rainbow. You'll find your pot of gold at the end of a story. You'll find it's all been told. And our love as a treasure, our hearts will gladly share. It's our love story without any end. And this Big Herb used to be big, lost a lot of weight lately. See you next week, won't I? Tell them goodbye, everybody. God bless you. And I thank you so very much.